You recording, guys? Oh, we are recording?
Yeah,
okay.
we're recording.
Sorry. I'm looking at the web document. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am really excited about this opportunity to share the stage with 5 of my fellow Plexus Worldwide Diamond Ambassadors. I know that they're mentors to many of you as well as myself. So today what we're going to do is we've had our team submit questions and our peers. And so we're going to take a few minutes out of our time and answer some of the most popular questions for you guys to help in growing your business as well. So today joining us, we have Susanne Clinton, Beth Anderson, Tamara Holloway, Angie Thompson, Debra Lawson, and myself, Telina Shepperd. Again, we're all Diamond Ambassadors with Plexus Worldwide. Many are Diamond and above and have spouses that are jewels as well. So let me get to our first question, and that is going to be for Beth. Beth, give us specific examples of messages that you send to your prospects.
Well, first, thanks so much, Telina, for having us on this call. This is going to be amazing. But when you did the questions, I absolutely love this question because this is something that I have grown in a whole lot from when I first started. When I first started sending out information about Plexus, I sent probably about 10 documents out that were probably 5 pages each. And I'm telling you, I would have never read that ever, ever, ever. So I just want to go through maybe 2 or 3 different types of emails that I send and what I do send when someone asks. The first I want to talk about is when somebody maybe reaches out to me and asks me about Plexus. So like I said, I used to send so much information. So what I've started doing is I've started just giving a super short wrap up of my Plexus journey, how it helped me physically and how it has helped us financially. Very short, very brief. And then when I do that, I also like to send the Plexus product briefs, which is a document that just very shortly talks about each product. And so when I do that, I ask them to read over that document and see what they might be interested in. When they're interested in those things, then we can go into more detailed information about each product. But what I found is when I sent so much information, people were not responding and people were not reading that. Again, myself, I would have never read all that information. I'd have been checked out. So make it short and simple and let them ask questions. The second type is when I'm sending something out to my cold market, maybe to somebody that does not, has not come to me. And so what I have started there is, I may reach out and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I know how this journey has helped me tremendously. And I was watching this Diamond documentary and it totally made me think of your life. Would you watch this and tell me if you're interested? Or on the health side, if I hear a testimony of someone that relates to a friend of mine, I'll reach out and say, hey, I just heard this story and it totally reminded me of you. Could I share these products with you, this opportunity with you? But again, keeping it very simple and not long, but also keeping it very personal. I don't do, so many times people ask me, can you send me the email that you send out? I change my emails for every single person because I want to make them personal and I don't want to make them just a block format email. That's my personality. I would much rather get a personal email. And the third is I want to talk about follow-up emails. This was something that I struggled with too because I always feel like I was bothering people. And at the very beginning, I apologized for everything. Okay, one thing I've learned is to stop apologizing for Plexus. Plexus has amazing products that are life-changing. Plexus is an amazing business that is life-changing, as so many of us know. So I remember I would send, I hate to bother you. I'm so sorry I'm bothering you, but... Okay, let's get that out of our system and say, hey, how are you loving these products? Are you feeling amazing? Switch it to positive rather than negative, and I think that you'll have so much success. But really just keeping those emails personal, keeping them short and sweet, letting them ask questions rather than you giving them so much information at first is, I think, just amazing emails to send out. So anyways, that is my tip for emails. So
I love it. I just took a couple notes myself, so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. The next question is for you, Tamara. Is there a successful cold message you have used for people you don't know very well on Facebook?
Yes. First of all, hey everybody. I'm so honored to be on this Zoom with like amazing, amazing leaders in our company. And I'm going to repeat a couple things that Beth said. First, I want to just give you a couple of tips for cold messaging to people maybe that you're not super close to. It's so important to stay genuine and authentic. I actually had a conversation with someone just yesterday who said, okay, I have some dream team members that I would love on my team, but I haven't talked to them in like a year, even 2 years. And I said, that's okay. Be genuine, be authentic, put that out there. Say, listen, Lisa, I know we haven't talked in 2 years, but I've been following you on Facebook. I love seeing your family vacations and your sweet kiddos off to kindergarten. And I just want to be honest with you. I cannot get you off my mind with this Plexus thing. It's changed everything for me. And I just want to share a little more with you. And I think that's okay. I 100% believe that relationships are key to this business. That's why it's called network marketing, right? But there are several people that I have reached out to and have had success that I hadn't been in constant, consistent relationship with by being authentic and by putting that out there. Passion is going to be your driving force. Confidence, as Beth said, don't apologize. That's going to be your driving force. And so you want to just be honest, genuine with them, and then let your passion guide you. Let that lead the way. Keep it simple. Don't throw up Plexus, right? We've all heard that. If you put out too much information, either one, they're not going to read it. Who all's open up a message and it's like 5 paragraphs? You're like, oh gosh, I haven't had time to read this. I'll get to it later. And then you don't, right? So keep it simple, just enough to intrigue them, just enough to get them hanging on a little bit and thinking, I want to know more about this. Next key tip, build belief into them. This is probably the key factor when you're sending a message out. You need to tell them why they should be with Plexus, why they would be blessed in this opportunity. Because I truly believe, because I was one of these people, that so many times people aren't willing to jump in because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can be successful. So tell them why they can. What is it? Is it that they have a great network, that they're passionate people, that they're hard workers, that they're genuine, that they just have a true heart and compassion for others? What are those qualities that you see in them, and I'm sure so many others see in them, that would make them amazing in this business? Tell them, build belief, build confidence in them. And then lastly, when you're ending your message, leave the ball in their court. Don't say things, and if you've done this already, it's okay. I've done this before too. But don't say things like, let me know if you're interested, or let me know if you have any questions. Instead, say, I want you to think about this for a couple days. I'm going to shoot you a sample in the mail, and I'm going to come check on you in 2 or 3 days. Just kind of let you sit on it for a little bit. So you're putting the ball in your court, and you're giving yourself permission to go back and check in with them. And guys, I believe that is key. Otherwise, when we're following up, we're like, okay, what do I say? They didn't ask me any questions. They didn't tell me they were interested. So what do I do now? So keep the ball in your court. And hands down, offer them a sample. I have gotten probably 90% response rate when I say, let me shoot you a sample in the mail. And then get them a sample in the mail with a handwritten note reiterating why you believe they'd be blessed in this business. Okay, so the question was, share some actual prospecting messages. So I'm going to share with you 1 or 2 ones that I used early on in my business. They have changed dramatically as I've continued to grow, but these are the ones I was using when I was silver gold level. Okay. Hey there, Tara. I'm going to go out on the limb here and say that you may have noticed I'm just a tad passionate about Plexus. I have just gotten involved with this new business, and I'm so intrigued that I just had to tell you about it. I have friends, and I was talking about Susanne at the time. I have friends making more income in a month's time than some make in a year. But what truly got my attention was the lifestyle. They are all working out of their homes at their own pace and creating an ongoing residual income that's just staggering to me. When I saw the caliber of people that were coming into this business, I thought of you. I cannot think of many people I would rather do this with. You know everyone. You're well respected. You're genuine. And I just know you would be amazing in this role and so blessed by it. I really think I'm onto something with this Plexus thing, and I would love to share a bit more with you. Let me drop you a sample in the mail with a bit of information, and you can see what all the fuss is about. And that's one I've had really good, or I had really good success rate in the beginning. Do you want me to read another one, or do you want to keep going?
Entirely up to you, girlfriend.
All right. Well, we'll just stop there then, because I wanted to give you my tips, because like Beth said, it's probably never going to look the same, because each person is individual, and you do want to keep it personal. I hope that's helpful.
And with that passion, I think I would probably purchase a pile of dog poop from you. I mean,
you get excited.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? Thank you so much. Our next question is for Angie. Tell us, what do you do when you get crickets when you're following up with someone?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Telina, for asking me to be on this call today. So I love the question that you asked. What do you do when you get crickets when following up? Because I don't know if you're new or if you've been in the business for a while, but I can tell you that this is just part of our business. However, it makes it really interesting on how you handle it. So first, I want you to think about the people that you see, they've read the messages, like Beth and Tamara both have mentioned. You know, you see that they've read the message, you see that they opened it, and nothing. And then next week, you may send them something else again. The same thing happens. Well, I want you to think about yourself and who talked to you about it. Because this is going to help you along the way. So did the person who piqued the interest with you, did you get right back to them, or did you send them back crickets? Okay, think about that. But I also want you to think about, would you join your own team, and would you respond to the message you just sent? So going back to what the ladies have already said, you know, like Beth talked about at the beginning, we just sent so many different things, and it was like, no way am I even reading this. So keeping it simple, like Tamara talked about, is going to get people more engaged in what you're doing. Passion is where it is at. If you are not passionate about this, no one is going to want to join your team. If they can't sense your belief in Plexus and our products, no one is going to want to become your customer. So those two things have to be down in your belly. You know, you have to get on the products, and you have to believe in everything about Plexus, because you can't fake that. And your prospect and the person that you're talking to is going to pick up on that. So think about those things. Would you want to join your own team? Would you want to become your own customer? And how long did it take you to send something back besides crickets? Okay. And don't be ashamed of what we have. And don't be ashamed of the different ways that you can do this. Not everybody does this the same way. Some people do it on Facebook, Messenger. Some people do text messaging. Some people call. I will tell you one thing. I've had to learn this along the way, being in the business about almost 4 years, is that people do respond to different ways. So, for instance, my 21-year-old son, when I call him on his cell phone, he never, ever, ever, ever answers it. Never. As soon as it gets his voicemail, I get a text from him, and it says, hey, what did you need? So think about that. You know, some people are more apt to respond to you in a text or a message, but some people are more apt to respond to you in a phone call. So you'll have to figure that out for yourself, but consistency really, really does pay off. So think about, do you want to become your own customer, like I said, and would people want to join you? And I'm going to leave you with this one thing. Way back when I started the business in November of 2012, there was one particular lady that I was very interested in her joining my team. She's from Minnesota. She's involved in a lot of different organizations, and she's very health-minded, and I knew that she would be great at this business. And for 3 years, I have constantly just kind of trickled and dripped into her. I see that she opens the message and she reads the message, and she likes my pictures from all the different things that we do with Plexus. She likes them and she comments, but never, ever, ever have I gotten anything back from her besides crickets. Nothing. And so I just kind of put her off to the side and thought, at some point she surely will get back to me. But I keep engaged in her things on social media and her kids' activities and that. And just last week before I went to convention, she sent me a message out of the blue and said, listen, I've had some things change in my life, and I really think that I need the products that you had offered me a few years ago. How do I get a sample? So that just goes to show you your consistency and your passion and the belief that you have in what you're doing. It will eventually pay off. So I hope that helps you so much. And don't worry about the crickets. The more crickets you have means the more customers you're going to get.
Absolutely. Go for no, right?
That's right.
Angie, you don't look old enough to have a 21-year-old son. Sorry.
I got an early start, so.
I just had to throw that out there, guys. All right, so this question's actually for me, and it's what's the best thing you've done to grow your business? And so I made some notes here because I surely didn't want to forget anything, and I want to give you the short answer first. So, like the ladies before me said, persistence, hard work, and let me tell you guys, a lot of prayer. Because in my opinion, if it wasn't for the man upstairs, none of this would be possible. So a lot of prayer. But nonetheless, when I started Plexus, I had a career as a pharmaceutical rep for 11 years, and I did not want to start the business like the majority of us. But when I got to see some of the great results that I was feeling both physically and mentally, I saw the opportunity. So I immediately made a goal for myself. And that goal was to fast start gold. And I encourage every single person out there to make that their goal, whether it's your first actual month or your 10th month or your first year in the business, make a goal to quote unquote fast start gold. I did that, I think, in 23 days, and then I promoted every month to Senior Ruby there going forward. But I was working a full-time job. I'm single, so I was running my house by myself. So I was working in the nooks and crannies of the day, but I was really consistent in my efforts. And sometimes that meant that I needed to stay up late, and I needed to forego a lunch with my girlfriends on a Saturday or Sunday. I really worked it like a business because I saw the vision. I did the basics, posting on Facebook 3 times a day. I hosted sip and sees, not only for myself, but for my team in the local area. I read a great book. It was called Your First Year in Network Marketing, and it takes it back before social media. And I implemented a lot of what I learned in that book. And the main thing I can tell you is that they encourage building relationships and actually picking up the phone and calling and not hiding behind the computer. So that is one of the best pointers I can give to you. Let's see, I was very diligent with my back office. I liked to keep my team in the loop if there was anything that needed attention to detail, and then I would help them to facilitate if there was, personal volume that needed to be upped, or how could they get their points by adding that. I was very diligent with my back office. I did 3 to 5 either business 3-way calls or training calls per day. And let me tell you, it was exhausting, but it got me where I'm at today. When someone joined me as a new ambassador, I treated that person as if they were a new employee with the company. I looked at it as their opportunity to, their orientation. So I not only emailed, but I snail mailed them a nice training packet. And then I would schedule a training call for them within the first few days. And I really, really drove home the fact that they did not need a personal weight loss or health testimony before they could start sharing their story. It's always been my belief that they have a testimony, and that's what brought them to Plexus. And lastly, I think I just didn't give up. This has not been an easy ride, and it definitely hasn't been a gravy train. So just pushing through with my passion, that's what's made me successful. Setting goals, keeping lists, following up, and I'm getting ready to re-enlist underneath myself as a diamond. And so I plan to do the same thing. I still do it today, and I'm going to treat myself as if I'm a silver ambassador, and I'm starting all over. My goal is to fast start gold. So I hope that helps, guys. All right. Our next question goes to, my apologies, I am bouncing back and forth between documents. Tamara, it's your turn. What is your training schedule and program for new ambassadors?
Okay, so I can literally talk about this for an hour because it's my favorite topic, but I'm going to try to keep it short and simple. And I want to start by saying I didn't always do that or do this, what I'm about to tell you. I have failed so often in bringing on new people and not getting them started off strong. I would sign people up, I'd give them a big thumbs up, and I'm like, okay, where's my next level one? And I was not investing in them, and I was not pouring into them. So every day is a new day, right? When I noticed that my retention rate was really, really bad, I decided to start implementing a few different things, and I was asking myself some tough questions, like what could I do differently as a leader? And I started doing a different training regimen when I bring on new level ones, and then training my level ones to do that with their level ones as well. Not all follow suit. Some do things differently, and that's okay. But there are several on my team that have found this to work for them. So one thing I started doing, because typically, right, when we're talking to someone about the opportunity and they're joining us, we don't say, join us, and then 2 seconds later, we get the new ambassador email, right? There's discussion. There's kind of a progression. So what I've started doing now is I'm sending them information before they even join. So I'm sending them videos to watch, maybe 3 or 4 a week, that they're watching, and then we're talking about those. I did this with my latest level one. I signed up last week. For 3 weeks, we were going back and forth. We had a call. There was 5 to 6 videos she watched. I sent her diamond documentaries to help build her belief in stories that I believe would relate to her. And it got her excited. She went from skeptical to let's do this. And she already has a knowledge base from day one. So she's off and running already, which is so exciting. And then what I try to do, this is key, is get them on a training call within their first week. At 48 hours if possible, that's not always the case, but trying in their first week to get them on a training call. And I go over 5 key things. Of course, first you want to connect with them, right? But the 5 key things that we go over is their why. We talk about why they're joining. And guys, I've heard a ton of different reasons. There are some people who want to be emerald in a year. And there are other people who are just so passionate about health. They truly want to get their products covered for themselves and their families. And so we talk about that why, and then we move straight into goals on how we can help that why happen, right? So you really want to focus on goals in their first 30 to 60 days because there's so much accountability that you can have with them there. If they tell you this is my goal in my first month or my first 2 months, you, as their sponsor, you can go to them and keep them accountable to that. Write their goals down. Have them send them to you. Print them out. Know what your level one wants to create for themselves in their first couple of months in their business so you can encourage them and support them in that. And then third, we talk about their coming out post, so to speak, how they're going to tell the world that they're a Plexus ambassador. That is so important, guys. I believe those first impressions, they're key. So you just want to help them write that post of, hey, I am a Plexus ambassador. So help them get started with that. And then talk about some smart Facebook tips. Tell them how to post smart. Give them some examples of great people to follow on Facebook. So their wheels are constantly turning. They see creative people that post really great things about Plexus and really great things about life in general so they can be motivated by those people. That does 2 things. It helps them create posts for themselves to grow their business. And 2, it's going to continue to build that belief because they're new. So if they're watching 5 to 10 people who are loving Plexus and they're passionate about Plexus, that's only going to build their enthusiasm and their passion as well, right? So help them with that. 5 to 10 people to follow at least on Facebook. And then next up, list making. I don't have them start reaching out to prospects right away because that's a whole nother call or training in my opinion, but get the people out of their head and onto paper that they believe would be beneficial or benefit from the products and benefit from the business. I used to just compile the list all together. Now I have them make 2 separate lists. One for people they know need the products and one for people they know would be blessed by the business. And of course, some of those are going to integrate together. But get those people out of their head and onto paper. So then the next step is they can start reaching out to those people, right? They have a game plan. And then lastly, super simple, letting them know what their resources are. Oh my gosh, guys. And even after convention, we have so many more resources, but not just throwing them into a testimonial page, throwing them into team pages, letting them know about Plexus Power Tools. Be very specific and say, okay, here are the top 3 resources that I want you to plug into. Once you really get comfortable there, we can always add you to more or bring more to you, but just getting them comfortable with the resources they have available to them. And also maybe picking 2 to 3 names of people on YouTube. Pick the people who inspire you, right, that have YouTube channels, and give them those names and say, hey, you know what, as you get a free 20, 30 minutes here a day, I want you to go to one of these 3 YouTube channels and just watch some of their videos. I want you to constantly be learning, because the more confident they become, the more they're going to put themselves out there and the better off they're going to be as ambassadors. And I say this all the time, that an excited ambassador is a working ambassador. An excited, enthusiastic ambassador is a business building ambassador. And that's our goal, right? We want people to be working the business. So get them excited, get them pumped up, get them a paycheck in their hands in the very first 30 days, and you're going to have an enthusiastic person who's ready to take it to the next level. I didn't go into a lot of detail about my training calls, but I do have a video on Plexus You with Kristen Abart that I go into more detail about the 5 key things I go over. If you want more information on that, you can check that out. And then lastly, you know what? Make sure they're plugged into Diamond documentaries. Anything that's going to help them to build belief that this opportunity is so real. That was what was so impactful to me, coming from another network marketing company a few years before I joined Plexus. I didn't believe network marketing was real. I thought it was real for a lucky few, but I did not believe it was real for just people like me, for the plenty, for all of us on this Zoom right now. You guys, this is so, so real. And my passion is to grab people's shoulders and to say, if you put the work in, if you put the passion in, if you are consistent and persistent and you don't give up, this is the real deal. You're not going to find anything like Plexus. So plug in where you are. The grass is the greenest right here, I promise you. But you want to build that belief into that new ambassador so they stay put with you and they commit and go all in.
Absolutely. And I hope you don't trademark that quote that you just used, because I'm going to steal it from you.
Just give me credit. I'm just kidding.
I'll give you credit for sure. All right, Susanne, you are up. And your question is, what is the best strategy for getting your team to work, and how do you get them interested in working the business?
Well, Telina, again, just like the rest said, thank you for having me on this call with all these Diamond rock stars. Very honored to be doing this today. It's funny. I feel like I think Tamara was in my brain or something, or I was in hers, because I'm saying very similar things. It kind of goes hand in hand. So this is perfect. I have a little bit different touch, but I love this question, because I feel like this is probably I have from my team members saying, I cannot get people to work. How can I get them to actually do something? So I really like to talk about this and kind of strategize and figure out ways to get people to actually work. And I feel like both of those questions go hand in hand, because first you got to get people interested in the business first, right? And then you got to get them to work. So as far as the business goes and getting them interested, I have a quick little story. I actually just signed up a new team member last week, and I had been talking to her probably. She actually was with a competing company, and I knew she was. So I didn't kind of, I told her about our products. I told her about our comp plan, which it was funny when we were having a kindergarten mom's night out, because our girls go to school together. And when I told her about this like 4 months ago, she was like, are you kidding me? Like, she just had no idea about our comp plan, how great it was. And I said, yeah, that's just kind of how Plexus does it. And we were talking, and then, but again, I knew she was with this other company, but I just kind of explained everything to her. Wasn't pressuring her, trying to get her to, move over or anything. Well, last week when I was at convention, she texted me and she's like, okay, I think I'm ready to get on this train. I've got to do this. And it was fun. It was so encouraging, because she sent me this text, and I have it right here. And she said, I just wanted to, it's really short. She just said, oh, Sorry, I just clicked on the wrong. 1 second. She said, I may have stumbled onto the easiest product ever to sell. Thanks for not pushing it, but keeping it in front of me. So it was so encouraging to me because I felt like she, I'd put it out there. I told her about it, also told her about the business opportunity. And then she, after just watching and just being consistent, but me not shoving it in her face, I was encouraged by that because I feel like maybe that was a big reason why she kind of came back to me and wanted to do it. But anyways, all that to say, I've been hearing different people that I feel like are afraid to present the business opportunity. We have amazing products. Everybody knows we have awesome products. But I think sometimes people are a little bit worried about, I don't want people to think I'm all about money. I don't want people to think that it's just, join my team, join my team, join my team, which I've been sensitive to that before as well. But I just think that people don't realize what an amazing business opportunity. And 9 times out of 10, just the people that are on my team, most of them needed the business opportunity. I have some that sell it for the products. They love it. They're passionate about it. They want to share it with everybody, just like all of us are. But I feel like, too, that some people, so many people just need this business opportunity. So I would say first, don't be afraid to share that, to put it on Facebook, to tell people if you have an upline that has an amazing business testimony, find their testimony and share it with them if you don't feel like you have one yet, or find other ambassadors and share that with them. I feel like I'm talking about other companies right now, but I'm literally having these conversations in the last 10 days. But even another company, I had a girl that said that, and she's actually the top 10 to 15 in this other company. And she said, I didn't sign up under somebody else because she didn't share the business part of it to me. And she didn't realize. So it's just interesting how you've got to share that business opportunity and not be afraid of it. And as far as just getting people to work, and it coincides, like I said, with with sharing the business opportunity. I just have 3 simple, easy tasks that to try to get people to work. And for me, it's like I said earlier, business opportunity is huge for so many people, and people want to see that the money is there and that you can actually make money at a network marketing company. And so my goal is to get a paycheck in their hands that very first month. So as soon as I sign somebody up, I say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Usually it's getting them to 500 PV, getting them to silver, and getting them to understand just the products and the comp plan. I try to make it simple, fairly simple. But once they see that paycheck and they see that, oh, you can actually make something, that's motivating, that's encouraging, that's exciting to them. And they're going to hopefully keep going and keep working at that. So definitely trying to get a paycheck in their hands and showing them on paper, if you have to, of how they can do that. And then next, like Tamara said and some others, just finding out their why. I constantly come back to this. If you can get them to realize, why are they doing this? Why are they even seeking out this business? Why did they sign up in the first place? And finding out what that is. Hey, maybe they need to make $500 a month. Maybe they need to pay for their daughter or son's ballet classes, or, baseball uniform and whatever those are, tournaments and stuff. Whatever it is, find that connection and find out their why they're doing it to keep them going. I've found that on my team, most of the people that I can come back to that, I usually write it down actually to try to come back and say, remember, you told me you got to get that $1,000 a month so that you can quit that part-time job or that full-time job or whatever they're trying to do, and reminding them of that why and making that connection so that they'll keep going and they'll be excited, and that's what motivates them. For me, that's what motivated me. I needed to stay home. I didn't want to teach school for the rest of my life. So that was motivating to me to keep going. Even though I had another full-time job, I remembered that why, and my sponsor reminded me of that, and I just kept going. So don't be afraid to share the business opportunity. Get that paycheck in their hand the first month. Help them do that. If you missed out on that first month and you're like, okay, I need to go back to square one though because these people aren't working, just go back to it. Just say, you know what, let's just start again. Let's just figure out how we can get you this paycheck, get you some money, and let's go from there. And then find out their why so that you can connect with them. And that's about it. Those are my points.
Perfect. To piggyback on what you're saying, I shamelessly will admit that I have done 5 other network marketing opportunities. And this is the only compensation plan that I personally have been successful with. So that's a great point. I love it. Thank you so much. All right, Debra, you are up. Your question is, what would your top 3 tips be for a new ambassador?
Awesome. Thank you so much. And it is a privilege to be with each and every one of you. I admire you. I probably stalk you too, the truth. So I'm that stalker. But thank you for having me. And I want to, Susanne hit on something when she said that, you know, a lot of people do need it for the money. I got into this company and had nothing. I didn't want nothing to do with multi-level marketing. I thought it was an ugly curse word. I really did. And when I started getting results, and Jerry started getting results, we ended up having some get-togethers. In fact, we had them back to back. Within 4 days, I went fast start gold.
Wow.
I got a call from this guy, and whenever, you know, I'm talking to him, and Jerry's like, who is it? And I'm like, I don't know, some guy named Tarl. I don't know. So we went fast start gold, and immediately, like you said, Susanne, you got a check in your hand. It changed everything, because I got in this to lose weight, to go find a 9-to-5 job. And what I found, and I wouldn't cash the checks until I looked online to make sure that network marketing was reputable. I mean, as a pastor's wife, you know, I can't do anything illegal, or shouldn't. So what I found was, oh my goodness, it is an amazing way of earning money. And not only that, but the lid is off. There's no ceiling to what you can make. And so the checks came in, I cashed them, and here we go. So a few tips for those who are starting out. Well, my tips are coming from a person who had 2 pieces of paper to work with, and just a handful of testimonies, mine and Jerry's and a couple of others, and pieces of paper that had been copied and copied and copied that wasn't very pretty. Well, let me tell you, no more. We have absolutely the most precious and interesting, successful guide that you could ever get. This is an amazing guide. I would suggest each and every ambassador to open it up and just do what it says. It's a step-by-step. You know, you don't have to write anything down. You just go step-by-step and do what this says. So that would be my first tip. Get you that running buddy. Tamara and them talked about making your list. Well, get one of those and make sure that they're your running buddy. One that you both can run with this business, bounce ideas off with, and have fun doing it. Making that list, emptying your brain. Because I want to tell you, if you don't empty that brain, if you think, oh, I'm going to remember everybody, well, let me tell you what happens. You start forgetting. You go down the road and you're like, oh, I remember so-and-so. And she had a niece, and we were good friends. I wonder where she lives. Well, because you haven't written all the other names down, you see your brain's holding on to all those other names, and it says, I'm not going to remember that name. You might as well just forget it. And there you've lost your name. But if you write everything down, your brain will say, okay, I'm going to remember that one, and you'll be able to write that one down, and your list grows and grows. So make sure you do just what Tamara said and write down those, make that list. My next tip is be coachable. If you have a sponsor and she is, you know, and here she is, Susanne, and she's giving you all these tips and told you, just ask her, how high do you want me to jump? And how many calls do you want me to make? And just do it. Now, you might be sitting there and you're like, well, Debra, that's fine and dandy. It would be nice to have a sponsor, but I don't have a sponsor. I'm out here all by myself. Well, I feel for you. I truly, truly do. And my heart hurts for you. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it just because. You can do it because we got the success guide. You can follow this. There are too many people who have blazed the trail before you that you can get all the information that you want to. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. So I think it's just time. You know, if you're in that spot, again, my heart hurts for you. But it's time to put on your big girl, big boy panties and just get it done. Decide that you got to have it, that you want it, and just do it. Be bold. Make sure that whatever you do, wake up excited. Wake up saying, oh, Lord, who can I bless today with a business opportunity or my amazing products? And he will lead and guide you. You just got to be open to it, and you got to be bold, because he's going to put someone in your path, and they may be just that person that might be on your chicken list. But if he's put them in your path, guess what? He's going to give you that boldness. He's going to give you the everything that you need to say to that person. So make sure that you do it. I would also suggest in this, whenever you do get people that comes, and this is face-to-face, and of course it could be on the phone or whatever. I have messy hair. I'm sorry. Plexus hat covers a lot of sins. Make sure that you ask permission. So if you're talking to someone, and for instance, if you're I have gone to a dress shop before, and I will decide who I want to go and check out with. And it's not necessarily the size, okay? It's their countenance. How are they perceived? Are they open? Are they friendly? Are they clammed up and, sourpuss? You don't want to talk to them. So I always make sure I go to one that's the friendliest. And I will go up and I'll say, oh my goodness, I am so glad I got to shop on this side of the store instead of that. And she's always like, okay, how did you do that? Just tell me, how did you do that? She has now given me permission to share about Plexus. Now, she hadn't given me permission to share the whole box about Plexus, but she has given me permission to open up and share a little bit. And when I talk to her, you got to listen, or him, you got to listen. Are they asking another question? And if they do, then they have asked for more information you share. If they stop, that's your cue to back off, because you don't want to just put it all over them. You want to leave them wanting more. That would be your cue to make sure that you get their name, their Facebook friend, whatever it is that you can get to make sure that you keep in contact with them. My last tip is the biggie. It will make or break. And I wrote down, it says, most people are not consistent or persistent because they just don't have a true vision of what they want. And you see, I had a true vision. I had a vision of what I needed and what I wanted. Y'all, I'm a pastor's wife. My husband was sick, and I was scared that he wouldn't be able to work anymore. And I've been a stay-at-home mom. If he could not, a pastor's wife, mom, doing ministry with him, which I love, but if he was not able to work, guess what? We lived in the church's home, beautiful home. Well, we wouldn't be able to stay here. That meant that we'd have to have a place to live. And if he couldn't work, this stay-at-home mom needed a job, big time. And I was going to bed scared each and every night. So I had a passion. I was persistent because I needed a home. I needed a retirement place that we would be able to live and have. So I had that vision of what I needed. If you have a true vision of what you really want, you're going to be driven to bring it to fruition. Nothing would stop you. I mean, if you come across a big old hill, you're going to go over it or around it or under it or just smack dab through it. But whatever it takes, you're going to do it. If you have that vision of what you want, you just got to do it. I'm telling you. Be ruthless. And when I say ruthless, I mean have a boldness. Have a boldness about caring about people, because there's people out there that's just like me. There's people out there that's just like you that needs it for the business, that needs it. My husband needed it for the health. I don't know where he would be today without Plexus. He needed it for that. So be ruthless and going after it and sharing this product. And I don't mean that in an ugly way. I just mean to be bold, be passionate, and just absolutely share it with everyone that you can. Think about, what will your life look like if you work your business? What would your life look like if you worked it hard, worked it with a boldness, work it with a persistence, and being consistent each and every day? And I'm not talking about you have to work it 16 hours a day. We're not saying that at all. But I am saying if you're committing 30 minutes a day to work it, then doggone it, make sure it's 30 minutes of income producing activities. If you're going to give it 2 hours, then income producing activities. Set a timer. Oh my goodness, that has been one of my favorite possessions. $5 timer. Set the timer and say, okay, for 30 minutes, I'm going to be messaging people. I think you might be shocked, because I was, when I set the timer for 30 minutes, I found out, and I was going to message people. That's all I was going to do, just message people. The timer went off, and I had message, would you like to guess? Anyone want to be a lucky guesser?
50.
0. 0. None. Oh my gosh, I got sucked up into Facebook world. I mean, I was watching Telina and Tamara and Susanne and Beth and Angie, and I was seeing what all they were doing and smiling and carrying on. I was shocked, and I can't be the only one who that happens to. So make sure that you whatever time that you allot Plexus, that is actually Plexus time and is income producing activities. Y'all, I love each and every one of you. I love this company with a passion. If you wanted to know how do I know that these people are credible, I have stories after stories of a great CEO who has a heart and a passion to make sure that each and every one of you make it to the top. Or maybe you're saying, whoa. I just want $500 a month. He knows how it feels to not have that. He truly knows. And he wants, and his desire is, and he created a company so that you could have that extra income that you needed. Take it and run with it. Don't walk. Walking is hard. I'm challenging you to run with this business, and we will see you at the top.
Well, with that passion and that Southern accent, I'm sold 100%. No, that's all of our questions for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. You ladies were awesome. And for those of you that are going to tune in and watch this diamond panel, feel free to follow all of us on Facebook. Some of us are exceeded our friend list, but you can always follow us. And we have diamond documentaries. A lot of us do. I don't. But feel free to watch those as well. And we will see you guys again soon. Have a good afternoon.